The week I made $1,000, my no-job story. Can you believe it? I made $1,000 in just 1 week. And the best part? I did not have a traditional job. People often think you need a steady paycheck, a boss, and an office. I am here to tell you that is not always true. There are other ways to earn money, ways that can be exciting and quick. This is my story about how I found those ways. I was in a tough spot with no job and an almost empty bank account. Bills were piling up and I needed to make money fast. The usual way was to send out resumes, go to interviews, and wait for calls. That process can take weeks, even months. I did not have that kind of time. I needed a solution now. I felt scared but also determined. I made a firm decision. I would not go looking for a typical 9-to-5 job. I decided to challenge myself. Could I make enough money without one? I set a goal for myself. $1,000 in 7 days. It sounded like a lot of money, especially with no job, but I wanted to try. This decision changed my thinking. I stopped feeling sorry for myself and started to feel a sense of excitement. I began to believe that I could actually do it. This mindset shift was very important. It was the first real step. I started looking everywhere for ideas. I opened my mind to all possibilities. My journey to $1,000 began right there, with a simple belief and a strong will to try something new. I knew I had to do something different, so I made a decision, a firm decision. I would not go looking for a typical 9-to-5 job. My first idea was simple. I would look for free things that people were giving away. You might be surprised what people get rid of. I went online to websites like Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist. Both have free sections where people list items they do not want anymore. Sometimes these items are very useful or can be fixed up easily. I spent hours browsing these sections looking for anything with potential. It was like a treasure hunt from my computer screen. The hunt for free items was exciting. I learned to look for certain things like old furniture and small electronics. Even old books or clothes can sell. I had to be quick. Good free items disappear fast. So I checked the listings many times a day and sent messages as soon as I saw something good. Sometimes I had to drive to pick things up. Early mornings were often the best time. It felt like I was discovering hidden gems. Once I got an item, the work began. I cleaned every item carefully. If it was a wooden table, I polished it. If it was an old lamp, I made sure it worked. Then I took good photos, clear photos from different angles with good lighting. I wanted my items to look their best. I wrote simple, honest descriptions highlighting the good points. This preparation was key to making sales. Then came the selling part. I listed the cleaned up items back online, usually on the same platforms where I found them. I set fair prices, not too high but enough to make a profit. I was surprised how quickly things started to sell. Each sale gave me more confidence. It showed me that value can be created from almost anything. Flipping free stuff was a good start, but I needed more ways to make money. I decided to explore gig apps. These are apps on your phone that connect you with people who need small jobs done. I looked into apps like DoorDash and Uber Eats for food delivery. I also checked out TaskRabbit for various small tasks. Signing up was pretty easy for most of them. My first few gigs were mostly food delivery. I would get a notification on my phone telling me where to pick up food and where to deliver it. I used my bicycle for short distances to save money on gas. For longer distances, I used my old car. The best part was the flexibility. I could choose when I wanted to work. If I had a few free hours, I could log in and make some money. It was very different from a fixed schedule job. I was my own boss in a way. The earnings from gig apps started to add up. Each delivery paid a certain amount and sometimes customers gave tips. Those tips made a big difference. I learned to work during busy times like lunch and dinner hours. I could do several deliveries in a short period. I kept track of how much I was making per hour. It was not a fortune for each gig, but it was steady and fast money. I could see the earnings in my app account quickly. This was very motivating. The gig economy was like a fast cash machine. If I needed money, I could usually go out and earn some. While doing gigs, I thought about other things I could do. I realized I had skills I used every day. Maybe I could make money from them too. I am okay at writing. I can use design programs a little bit. I know how to use social media. These are skills many people in businesses need. I never thought of them as professional skills before, but I started to see their potential. I wondered if I could sell these skills online. I discovered platforms like Fiverr. Fiverr is a website where people offer small services. These services are called gigs. I created a profile and decided to offer simple writing services. I set low prices at first to get my first few orders and good reviews. It took a little while, but then my first order came in. It was exciting to make money using a skill I already had. I also used Canva, a free online design tool. I watched a few tutorial videos, then I started offering simple design services. I could make basic logos or social media posts for small businesses. People needed these things, and they were willing to pay for them. The work was quick, and I could do several small design gigs in an evening. This added another stream of income. Each payment might be small, but they added up. My skills were becoming another source of cash, all without a traditional job. With money coming in from free flips and gigs, I felt bolder. I started thinking about a bigger profit, a big flip. This means finding one item that is very undervalued and then selling it for a much higher price. Thrift stores can be good places for this. Charity shops too. They get donations of all sorts of things. Sometimes valuable items slip through and get priced too low. I decided to spend some time hunting in these stores. It required patience and a good eye. I visited several thrift stores in my area. I looked carefully at everything: old electronics, vintage clothing, artwork, books. Most of it was just old stuff, but I kept looking. Then, in one dusty corner of a store, I saw it. It was an old-looking board game. The box was a bit worn, but all the pieces seemed to be there. It was priced at only $3. I had a feeling it might be a rare one. I quickly bought it. When I got home, I started researching the board game online. My hunch was right. It was a vintage game from the 1970s, and it was quite rare. Complete sets were selling for a lot more than $3. Some were selling for over $100. I listed the board game on eBay and set a starting price that was fair. In the end, it sold for $150 from a $3 investment. This big flip showed me the power of finding hidden value. By the end of the week, I counted all my earnings: the free flips, the gig app money, the skills I sold online, and of course, the profit from that amazing board game. I had done it. I had made over $1,000 without a traditional job. The feeling of accomplishment was incredible. I felt proud and resourceful. Mostly I felt surprised that it had actually worked. It showed me that my initial crazy idea was not so crazy after all. With the money I earned, I paid my urgent bills. That was a huge relief. But I also thought about the future. What if I could keep some of this going? Maybe I could write a short ebook, a guide about finding and flipping free stuff, or a guide to making money with gig apps. I could sell it online for a few dollars. I could use some of my earnings to run a small online ad for it. This could create passive income, money that comes in even when I'm not actively working. The biggest lesson I learned that week was this: money-making opportunities are truly everywhere. They are not just in job advertisements or in corporate offices. They are in free piles on the curb. They are in apps on your phone. They are in the skills you already possess. They are in thrift stores. You just need to open your eyes and be willing to look for them. Resourcefulness is a very powerful tool, more powerful than a resume sometimes. The most important thing is to take action. The world is full of possibilities. You just need to unlock your inner hustler.